Live. Today I'm doing a leg, mostly core, quads and core workout, mostly the side core. Let me just adjust the hair a little bit for jumping around. So I'm definitely feeling better. I've been sick the last couple weeks when I made live videos, but today we can push a little harder. Now this workout does not have much arm stuff in it because I went swimming yesterday and also did a lot of pull-ups. Well, my normal amount of pull-ups at the gym, but because I've been sick, I haven't really done too many pull-ups lately. I was definitely feeling it a lot. So arms are a little sore and dead is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just adjusting my hair because, as you can tell, I have a lot of it, and this is the only way it will stay in place while I'm bouncing around. So I'm doing a little top knot here, and then we will get started with the warm-up. So I don't talk a whole lot during the warm-up because it's a lot of moving, but you just take it easy and do what you can. There we go, that's better. Okay, let me get a cup of water and then we start. Grab my water, I'll be right back. Okay, some water, and then we're gonna start. One song of just full body movement to get the heart rate up, get all the muscles warmed up. All right, let's do it. Oh, and I'll go into that before we start the workout. We're just doing the warm up right now. And let me get a song. And where's the one? This one. All right, so I'm gonna start with a little jog. It's pretty chilly here in Florida today. I guess it's the winter storm moving through right now, but it's nice. Jumping jacks. And you better be doing the workout with me. To a little twist. And coming up with a butt kick. Here's the butt kick. We're going to throw a little high knees in here next. Here we go, high knees. Back to the jog. And back to the jumping jack. And a little twisty thing. Back to the butt kick. I like to do my arms at the same time. High knees. Back to the jog. Usually ends up being about 3 rounds. This might be the last round. We'll see how long this song is. Oh, this is actually the end. Coming up here. All right, let's take the head up and down. So today's workout, like I said, is going to be mostly quads and obliques. Kind of what I'm focusing on today. That's probably about 10. Let's go side to side. And I do have to go to my regular job after this, so we're just going to whip through things pretty quick here today. My usual format is 15-minute workout, 50 seconds of exercise, 10 seconds in between exercise. There's 5 exercises and 3 rounds of all the exercises. And then we're going to tilt ear to the shoulder. Just warming up the neck. Going to work our way down. Once I move to the shoulders, I'll come check the chat and see what's up with you guys. Oh, it always feels so good. So I did get a little walking pad, and then we're going to circle my head all the way around. Off Amazon. It just popped up and it was only like $100. And I love that thing. I'm using it all the time. Those of you who know me may know that I day trade most days during the week. So instead of sitting there staring at charts, now I can walk and stare at charts. So, definitely been great. I really like that thing. I'm doing about 5 each direction. This is probably 5. All right, shoulders, let me check. Diddy. I don't know what that means. Izzy says, here's your first like and comment. Thanks, appreciate that. Where are you guys from? Where are you tuning in from? I'm in Florida. Very beautiful day outside, but very chilly. It got very chilly overnight. Okay, I'm getting hot. Shirt off. Doing about 10 here. This is 6-ish. And then we're gonna circle the arms back. It's my first time wearing these bright pink shorts, but I love them. Amazon. Sports bras from Buff Bunny. Do I need to post another video? So, of course I lost track. Maybe 7, 8. One more. Yeah, not doing too much with the shoulders today. Oops. Because I was definitely feeling the pull-ups at the gym the other day. I can usually do about, I used to be able to do about 10 pull-ups. Did I say push-ups? I meant pull-ups. About 10 pull-ups in a row, but these days I'm down to about 4 or 5. So I usually will do full pull-ups, and then I go to the assisted pull-up machine for a total of 15 reps. So maybe 4 or 5 regular pull-ups, and then 10 or 11 assisted pull-ups. And then I do 3 rounds of that. So people are always impressed with my pull-up strength at the gym. I'm just warming up my wrists. And we're gonna move on to the back. And I will go over the exercises we're gonna do. I'm gonna do little circles here. We are gonna do some side planks. So important to warm up the wrists before I get down on the floor. And a reptile. We'll use the wrists too. So let me know in the chat where you're from. If this is your first time joining me, this is still kind of a new channel. And then I'm gonna go up and down with the wrists. making a fist at the bottom. My favorite wrist warm-ups. You can always feel this in your forearms a lot. A few more here. I was going to try to incorporate some pull conditioning with this workout, but shoulders are too sore. Oops, somebody just deleted their comment. I was going to read it. All right, and I'm going to circle one more time. And then back to the shoulders just a little bit. If you're doing this with me, you probably feel it in your shoulders right about now. And then we'll go the other way. All right, onto the back. So I'm going to start with a little side bending. About 10. What are you saying over here? Textbooks. Yes, I have the books there for a reason. Before we start the workout, I'm going to explain what they're for. All right, and then a little twist. Oh, legs. Okay. I have different size books. Maybe I'll just tell you now while I'm warming up. So the books are for, I'm gonna do some pistol squats today. And I don't have great ankle flexibility. I do work on it, but my ankles, my whole body's not very flexible, to be honest with you. I do have some flexibility, but it's because I've worked on it for many, many years. My ankles are not that flexible. So that's why I have the books, because I elevate my foot when I'm doing the pistol squat so I can go all the way down. So, and I have different sizes here, because I'm not sure what size will be best. So I'm doing 10 cat-cows to warm up my back. And then I do some circles with the ribs because it feels so good. I think that's 4-ish. Seven. That feels pretty good today, actually. I think this is 10. And then we're going to go into some circles. If you've never done these before, they can be a little tricky. But it feels really good. About 5 each way, so I'm going to switch. Circle with the hip. Last little part of the warm-up, and then I'm going to come check the chat. Do you guys like my new pink shorts? And then the other direction. And other side. 10 circles. About 5 more. All right, so a little hammy stretch. Feels good. And roll it up. Okay, so like I said, we're focusing on quads and obliques today. Oh, I'm so glad you said handstand because I did mean to put a handstand in my workout today and I forgot. So I'm glad you said that. Now I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to take anything out. Let's see. All right, I think I'm just gonna take out the first exercise I had and do a handstand instead. Different handstand variations. So there's gonna be 3 rounds of all these exercises, 5 exercises. Let me turn on the light here. And then we are starting with a reptile, which is gonna be in a plank position. I guess I'll just jump in and show you what the exercises are as we go. But the books are for the pistol squat, and I'm not sure which size. That's really the only exercise equipment you need. So we'll go ahead and get started. I have the interval timer on this, so if you're following along with me, you can look at this. The red is gonna be when we're doing the exercise, and then the green is the 10 seconds in between. So if you're doing the workout with me, so there's the red. Once I hit start, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I should move it closer so you can see it. And then you'll know how much time you have left on each exercise. Hopefully I won't run into it. Okay, let me get a sip of water and we'll get started with the reptile. With the reptile, you can do a reptile, just the reptile itself, or you can add a push-up in between. So you reptile, reptile, push-up, so I'll show you both. Whatever feels good on your body. I might throw a few push-ups in there, but like I said, my shoulders are pretty dead after my pretty intense swim yesterday and then a bunch of pull-ups at the gym over the weekend. Maybe this will block your view though. I don't want to block your view. Go back here. Yeah, that's good. We'll leave it there. Okay, here we go. Starting with the reptile. 50 seconds. So we're going to be in a plank, and you do knee to your elbow. If you want to add the push-up, you can do this block. So reptile, push-up. If the push-up's too hard, you can always do a modified push-up, or you can just do no push-up and just the reptiles. I'm going to keep doing a push-up in between because it feels good. I don't do push-ups that often. Next up, we're gonna do the pistol squat. All right, modified push-ups for me now. And there's the ding. Pistol squat. We're gonna start with engaging autism. So I have the pole here, which is kind of nice. But pistol squat, essentially you're trying to do no hands and go all the way down. That's about as far as I can go. Let me try holding the pole. Oh, it's hard. You know what else you can do? Might need more weight. Counterbalance. Three more seconds. All right. Yeah, sky watching and the Herb Bible. Okay, next is side plank. So go on the right side. I'm gonna do it on my elbow actually. Hand here, up and down. Squeeze at the top. Fifteen more seconds. okay to take a break and then jump back into it. There's the ding. Okay. Next is a horse stance walk. This looks a little weird, but it's really good for hip flexibility actually. I'm going all the way back here. You're gonna have your toes out in a nice wide squat. Try to tuck your pelvis under, and you're walking like a weirdo. And we can go back. Try to stay as low in the squat as you can. I'm gonna have to do this sideways because my floor moves a little bit. It's like a floating floor. Try to tuck your pelvis under. Probably better for you to see from the side anyways. And chest up. I know this looks weird. Next up is a handstand. All right, so if you're brand new to handstands, then you can just be here with your hands on the ground. You can have your feet up on something if that's too hard to reach, and you can just work on pushing your weight over your wrists and holding it. You can play with tucking one knee into your chest at a time, whatever you can tolerate. But you want to think of pushing into your palms and engaging your shoulders. It's very important. I'm actually going to go up against the truss here. Hopefully I won't die. There we go. I've been working on getting my balance in handstands for a long time. Still working on it. Okay, next up, where did I put my list? Back to the reptile, second round. Here we go. Reptile. And then you can add your push-up. Or no push-up, it's up to you. I'm not pushing the push-ups too much today because my arms are pretty dead. Nine more seconds. Okay, next up is the pistol squat. I'm gonna try, is it here? A skinnier, actually, yes, skinnier book. Sky watching, under my heel with my counterbalance. I don't know how much this weight is. I think it's like 10, 12 pounds or so. You can also keep this leg on the ground and have a sock underneath it and just slide it is another option. Oh, there we go. Woo. Oh, coming up is hard. 13 more seconds. Hard to get up once I'm down. 4 seconds. And up. Okay. I think this height is better. And then we do a side plank. I'm on my left side this time. For the third round, we're going to alternate halfway in between for all these exercises that are one-sided. Squeeze at the top. A little break for me. I'm getting tired. And jump right back in. ding. Okay, next up is the horse stance walk. Okay, sky watching for the win. So in a deep squat, toes out, tuck your pelvis forward, and walk like a horse, I guess. And we'll go back. And forward, or whatever you have room for. Hold it here for a second and pulse my knees back. There's the ding. Okay, next up is our handstand. So you've got your modified handstand, or if you can kick up, you can be with me. I'm gonna try to kick up and hold this time. All right, that was a pretty solid little hold there at the top. 20 more seconds. Try to get one more in. Oops. There's the ding. All right, back to the top with the reptile. Roll up the shoulders a little bit. There's our starting ding. So, I'm doing my modified push-up, optional. I'm gonna leave out the push-up now. "17 seconds, little break for me. Feel it in the shoulders. All right, there's the ding. Next up is the pistol squat. Quality over quantity, always. I'd rather do things slow and controlled than fast and sloppy. Okay, I got my counterweight. We're doing the right leg for 25 seconds. Oh God, this one's a lot harder than my left leg. I'm not gonna go all the way down. All right, and then switch. Yeah, this one's a lot stronger. Weird. My left side is bad with everything else, but one more. Ah! All right. And then we have side plank. So we'll start on the right elbow, switch halfway. You can always be up on your hand too if you want. I just find the elbows a little bit more, it just feels better. Squeeze at the top. Slide my elbow in a little bit. And switch sides. Here we go. A few more. ding. All right, we're almost done. We've got the horse stance walk and then the final handstand. Here we go. Knees real wide. Press your knees back. Tuck your pelvis under. Get as low as you can and walk. This time, when I get to the front, I'm gonna hold it and then, like I said, press my knees back, pulse them back. This is good for working on middle splits, flexibility, and then walk it back. Keep it as low as you can. I'm gonna hold it here and pulse. Woo. And forward. All right, there's the ding. Woo, feel it in the quads. I warned you. All right, handstand. You can do your modified, or you can do pick up against the wall. Don't kill yourself. Woo. 15 more seconds. I don't know if I have energy to go back in. Sweating profusely. Maybe I'll just use up all my time. Yes. Okay, got a little lazier with the last one. Okay, that completes the interval training. Now for the stretch. But first I'm gonna check the chat. Sip some water. I am sweating. Walt is staring at my arches. Aaron's impressed with my handstand. Thank you for that. I've been working on handstands for many, many years. It's not easy. My shoulders are not very flexible, so I work a ton on shoulder flexibility. All right, stretchy time. Always, well, not always. Usually you start with my hip flexor because it feels good. But yeah, I can do headstands all day long. I'm great at headstands. Handstands are hard, and it's the shoulder flexibility for me. So I usually do a lot more flexibility as I'm spraying sweat everywhere. Usually do a lot more shoulder flexibility and wrist exercises before I go into handstands, but you know, I always do some wrist warm up anyway, so it's not the end of the world if I don't do my complete wrist program when I do a handstand, but it definitely helps. Very important to warm up your wrists before you do handstands. All right, nice deep breaths, just letting my heart rate come down. I'm gonna switch sides, starting with the hip flexor, and then I'll take it down to the ground. Yeah, and I'm getting better about holding a handstand. You saw I can hold it for a few seconds now, but I wanna get more consistent. One of the biggest tips I can offer for handstands that I wish I'd learned much earlier in life is that it's really important to practice cartwheeling out of a handstand. So if you do a handstand facing a wall, whether you climb your feet up the wall or whatever, I can always do a video and show you what I'm talking about. But doing a handstand facing the wall and then working on cartwheeling out of the handstand and then eventually doing it freestanding and cartwheeling out of it is so important. Okay, definitely gonna do some more quad stretching after the pistol squats. Grabbing my left leg. Actually, maybe I'll start with the right so you can see better. Grabbing the foot, if you can't reach it, you can always use a strap. pushing your hips forward. Get your knee underneath your hip and keep your knee in. Don't let it splay out. So knee is in line with your hip. And like I said, work on tucking your pelvis under and moving your knee back. So you don't want to be flexed at the at the hip here, because then you're not getting a quad stretch. You got to tuck the pelvis under, and then once you get the pelvis under, knee in line, then you can work on bringing your heel to the tip, to your hip. Words are hard. But it's very helpful to tuck your pelvis here. Okay, other side. Same thing, grab that. Actually, we're gonna switch. No, I don't have it on this one. I made some hip hop yoga songs, but they're not on this iPad. Okay, grab the foot, knee in, tuck your pelvis under, then start bringing that heel towards your hip. That was a good little workout. Yeah, I had a really good swim yesterday. Workouts are hard right now because, well, before I start talking about that, let's do a little pec stretch. So you can go against the wall. You want to make sure your elbows in line with your shoulder. I like to use my pole and then turn away and look away. Shoot, now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, if you watched any of my previous live streams last few weeks, I was sick with the flu, so I had to really limit myself. Because I was sick and I wasn't able to do as much as I normally do, now I'm a little out of shape. Like I said, with the pull-ups at the gym, I could tell a big difference. I was very sore afterwards. So, working on my endurance, getting back to what I was doing before. But at least I'm able to push myself and I'm feeling better. Because being sick is not fun. Ooh, I can feel that in my pecs. I don't usually do a lot of push-ups because I don't do a lot of pec stuff in general, because I feel like, and you can leave a comment and let me know what you think about this. I'm just doing a double pec stretch now with my pole. You can do this on the ground, or you can just stick with the last pec stretch that we did. I feel like as a woman, because your breast tissue is mostly fat, when you do a lot of pec exercises and push-ups, then you shrink your boobs. I mean, that's just what I've noticed. So you tell me in the chat if you agree with that, but that's why me as a woman, I don't do too much push-ups, chest press, that kind of thing, because I'm not trying to, you know, I like the size I'm at right now. I'm not trying to shrink down to an A cup, you know what I mean? And never say never, but as of right now, I would never get fake boobies. That's just me. All right. A boob lift, maybe, but not fake boobies. Okay. What else did we work? Our sides. We definitely need to stretch the sides. So my favorite side stretch, I like to do this with the pole. If you don't have a pole, I'm just going to show you. You can be here and then lean to the side, because that's what we're going for, is a side stretch. I like to use my pole with my feet next to the pole, this hand up and over, and then I lean away, and it feels so good. It's so good. My general rule of thumb is to hold stretches for 5 deep breaths. I like to say deep breaths because breathing is how your muscles relax. If you're not breathing and you're just holding your breath, the muscle's not really going to relax. All right, and then we go to the other side. So you can just switch your arms if you're doing the other version. Up and over, lean away. Oh, it feels good. I hope I don't have any butt sweat right now. One more deep breath. Alright, and I'm going to face my pole. You can do this on the ground in like a child's pose, but I'm just like to add a little extra shoulder stretch because it feels good. I like these Buff Bunny tops, but they gape a lot right here, which is kind of annoying. And then the other way. About 5. All right, that's good. And then, what else? I think we will do a couple more shoulder stretches since we did do the handstands. And then we'll finish it off with a straddle. I'm thinking out loud. And I guess that should do it. So we'll do a little shoulder stretching on the ground. We did some on the pole just now, but we will start with a puppy pose. I guess not start because we've been stretching for like 10 minutes. So I keep my knees in line with my hips, which is a little hard to tell where you are, but you kind of have to look back. Shoulder or hands in line with my shoulders. And then I'm going to externally rotate my shoulders, which means I'm kind of hugging my elbows up, armpits under. Deep breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm going to lower my chest to the ground. The goal is to get your chest to touch the ground. Once your chest is touching the ground, you can have your chin on the ground. I'm not quite there today. Someday, well, kind of. But if your chest is on the ground, then you can come up on your hands. If you want to get real crazy, you could put some yoga blocks here and have your hands up on those too. But that is the puppy stretch, and then we're going to do one arm at a time too. So bring one hand forward, I'm bending the other arm and leaning into that shoulder. If you want to add a little tricep stretch, you can always bring the arm in. If you're doing triceps on the day, this is a good little tricep stretch. And then the other side, so other arm forward, leaning into it, my left arm's bent. I'm gonna hold it for a couple breaths. If you want to add the tricep stretch, you can bend the elbow. I guess we did do some triceps with the push-ups actually. And then slowly coming up, we're just going to do a general ab stretch here. So we're going to tuck the pelvis and then lean forward, let your hips come down. And then we're going to finish with a straddle. Use your exhales to lower your hips just a hair more. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Your legs can straddle out a little bit. All right, to come out, you're going to squeeze your abs, push through your hands, tuck your pelvis. All right, straddle time. Itch. Remove my herb book, which I did not use. Sky watching was better. Engaging autism was a little too thick for the pistol squats. Okay, so a comfortable straddle. I like to put my hands on my hips, those are my thighs, on my thighs, and then circle the ribs. Ooh, I feel my back right now, so I'm not going super low, but if you can try to get your chest down towards the ground, that would be better. I'm just feeling a little tight in my back right now. I'll do about 5 one way. I think that was 3, 4, 1 more. And then we'll go the other way. One of my favorite back stretches. Last one. Okay, what I'm going to do from here is choke on my own spit. And then I'm going to grab a yoga block and slide it forward with a straight back. You could also use a towel, or if you're on carpet, you could use a piece of cardboard, like the top of a cardboard box or something. This is very gapey at the front, so I apologize. We're going to come forward as far as you can with a flat back, and then just hold it. So you're really stretching forward. Hold it. Deep breaths. Every exhale, see if you can push it forward just a little bit more. Okay, you can bring it in slightly, and then we're gonna shift it over to one foot. And if you can grab that foot, that's fine. A few deep breaths. Now I'm gonna put my left hand in front of my right thigh and then reach up and over. I try to grab the outside of my foot and bring my head through. Hold it for a few deep breaths. If you can't reach the foot, you can always use a strap. And then you're pushing with the bottom hand to get more rotation. This is also a good side stretch after what we did today. All right, let's come back to our block and circle it back to the middle. Push out and hold the middle again. You'll find that I do a lot. We're going over to the other side. Bring that block over towards your other foot. Make sure you're keeping your sit bones on the ground. Don't let them come up. Grab the other foot if you can. I was going to say that you'll find that I do a lot of stretching after my workouts. I think stretching is so important for injury prevention, flexibility, especially as you get older, for sure. And I do pretty targeted stretching for the muscles that I worked during my workout. So we worked quads and obliques a lot today. So we're doing a lot of stretches specifically for those muscles. All right, so we're gonna do our side stretch. So my right hand's gonna come next to my thigh. See if I can not splash you. And then this hand's gonna try to reach for this foot. I don't have a strap handy. This side's a lot more tight for me because of my back injury, so I can't do as much rotation, but you're pushing through the bottom hand, trying to rotate your ribs a little bit. Keep your sit bones on the floor. Deep breaths. And if you do have a side that's tighter, it's always good to hold that side just a little bit longer. All right, and then you can slowly come out. Oh, good. Wiggle it out. And then let's bend the legs, and then we're just gonna do a little side to side. That hip feels tight. Groaning is allowed, because I can't hear you anyways. All right, and then we're gonna come out, and then in. Just loosening up the hips a little bit. And then we're gonna do my grandma stretch. Actually, you know what? We probably should do a glute stretch after those horse walk things. So we're gonna bring one leg over the other. I like to kind of come up and then sit back down to get a little bit deeper. Make sure you don't hyperextend your elbows in this position. So you can bend your elbows slightly if you're hyperextensive like I am. And then you're trying to bring your chest towards your leg. And you'll feel that in your glute or glutes. And then we'll switch. Again, I like to bring my bottom up a little bit. This side is much tighter. You can see how much closer my leg is to my chest than the other side was. Feel it. Two more breaths. Alrighty, and then we're gonna come on up. Grandma stretch. It looks weird, but it feels so good. Just a gentle little hip release. Good to do after splits and stuff too. All right, I'll do one or two more this direction. I'm gonna see the chat who's still hanging around with me. All right, what do we got? Ooh, I'm almost late for work. Erin says, can you do pull-ups? Yes, I talked about this earlier, but it's probably before you came in. I used to be able to do about 10 pull-ups. Now I'm down to about 5 lately in a row, working back up towards 10. Edson says hello, hello. Hello to you. Oh, there's my handcuffs. Oh, these are the fake ones. I do have real ones. Those are the fake ones, plastic. Aaron says, I like ab exercises if training at home, like crunches, sit-ups, and heel touches. Yeah, those are all great. Exercise is easy enough to be able to narrate through. I'm not sure what you mean. I do have a hard time talking when I'm doing exercise sometimes. I had one person come in my live stream a few weeks ago, and I hate it when men, especially men I don't know, try to give me directions or instructions. Like, who the F are you? And this guy was like, you should try talking more. You should do this. You should do that. And I wanted to slap him, but I can't through the phone. But I'm not talking during cardio exercises, like especially my warm-up where I'm jumping around and jogging and stuff like that, because it's too hard to talk. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, and then I mentioned that about yoga too. Technically I am a yoga teacher, but I don't really like teaching yoga because I do feel like it's a lot of talking while you're trying to do the poses, which is really hard to do, and I just don't like it. So, okay, so that was my oblique and quad workout for the day. I'm gonna go running sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, depending on what the weather's like. I have to find a day that's not raining. It's nice and cool the rest of the week. So my point is I will probably be back live, what's today, Tuesday? Maybe Thursday morning for a workout like this. Maybe I'll do some pole. My arms will have had time to chill out a little bit, and then I'll be able to get on the pole and do some pole moves and conditioning, because I'm trying to be regular about that. Or who knows, maybe I'll get crazy and hop on my hoop. I haven't done a hoop workout yet. It's been a long time since I did a hoop workout, actually. So I have the pole in the front here, and then the back truss there, right here, is my aerial point. And then this is my hoop. So I do like hoop. I just don't do enough of it because I do so much other stuff. But that's my hoop. And then I also have silks right here. But pole has always kind of been my main aerial. I'm not so much into the hoop or silks. Silks is like the least. Okay, so that is the end. Leave me a comment if you do this workout. Let me know how it goes. Any other workouts that you'd like to see. If you want to see a handstand video with some beginner handstand variations and conditioning exercises, that kind of thing, I'd be happy to make something. Have a wonderful day. I will